I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, yes.
If there was one person that has inspired and influenced my musical development, that one person would be Louis Armstrong. He has a sound that is so unique and captivating to me that I can't explain it. If the truth be told, he is one of the main reasons I picked up a trumpet in the first place. His ability to take a horn, whether it be trumpet or cornet, and take it and communicate with an audience drew me in. Louis Armstrong to me was more than a musician. He was a singer, he was an actor, and he was a person that made people laugh. He could always put a smile on your face. Louis Armstrong, nicknamed Satchmo Pops, and later Ambassador Sax, was born on August the 4th, 1901 in New Orleans, Louisiana. An all-star virtuoso, he came to prominence in the 1920s, influencing countless musicians with both his daring trumpet style and unique vocals. Armstrong's charismatic stage presence impressed not only the jazz world but all of the popular music. He recorded several songs throughout his career, including he is known for the songs like Stardust, La Vida Rose, and What a Wonderful World. Armstrong had a difficult childhood. His father was a factory worker and abandoned the family soon after Louis's birth. His mother, who often turned to prostitution, frequently left him with his grandparents. Armstrong was obligated to leave school in the age of fifth grade and begin working. A Jewish family gave young Armstrong a job collecting junk and delivering coal. They also encouraged him to sing and often invited him to their home for meals. On New Year's Eve in 1912, Armstrong fired his stepfather's gun in the air during a New Year's Eve celebration and was arrested on the spot. He was then sent to the Colored Wolf's Home for Boys. There, he received musical instruction on the cornet and fell in love with music. In 1914, the home released him and he immediately began dreaming of a life making music. While he was still had to work odd jobs selling newspapers and hauling coals in the city, famed the Red Light District, Armstrong began earning a reputation as a fine blues player. One of the greatest cornet players in town, Joe King Oliver, began acting as his mentor to the young Armstrong, showing him his pointers on the horn and occasionally using him as a sub. By 1932, Armstrong had begun appearing in movies and made his first tour in England. While he was beloved by musicians, he was too wild for most critics, who gave him some of the most radical and harsh reviews of his career. Armstrong did not let criticism stop him. However, he returned an even bigger star when he began a long tour throughout England in 1933. In a strange turn of events, it was during this tour that Armstrong's career fell apart. Years of blowing high notes had taken a toll on Armstrong's lips, and following a fight with his manager, Johnny Collins, who already managed to get Armstrong into trouble with the American mob, he was left stranded overseas by Collins. Armstrong decided to take some time off after the incident and spent much of 1934 relaxing in Europe and resting his lips. When Armstrong returned to Chicago in 1935, he had no band, no engagements, and no recording contract. His lips were still sore, and there were still remnants of his mob troubles. And with Leo, his former wife, followed a couple split, was suing Armstrong. He turned to Joe Glacier for help. Glacier had mob ties of his own, having been close with Al Pacino, but he had loved Armstrong from the time he met him at the Sunset Cafe. Armstrong put his career in Glacier's hands and asked him to make his troubles disappear. Glacier did just that. Within a few months, Armstrong had a new big band. I thank you all for listening to my little tribute to Louis Armstrong, and I hope I get an A out of this. Y'all have a good day. God bless. Bye.
Chocolate, chocolate.
You must be crazy.
He good.
You must be crazy.